So I want to give you an example of how we would form reasoning. So this is the example from the previous video. I have copied and pasted all of my information from my previous documents. So I have my central claim and supporting claims, my evidence, all of that is set. So once that is set, that's when I start working on my reasoning. So if you haven't filled all these things in yet from copying and pasting over, do that first. Don't try to start everything from scratch, right? So far, the way this is set up, this is looking exactly the way we want it to look, right? We've got should return to in-person learning because a lot of students do not have access to internet. Being away from school affects students' mental health, right? It includes kind of my two claims there. I break down this first. Distance learning requires the internet that not every student has available to them. The first piece of evidence was that quote that I gave you the example of, right, from Joseph Allen, talking about the percentage of Boston high school students that didn't log in the spring. So now my job is to create reasoning. I have this evidence, I have my claim, I need to connect the dots, right? And remember that we have our, I'll bring it up for you again, right? We have that our first point of reasoning can start, you don't have to start with these, but we can use those. This means that, or it is clear that, right? Oh, I lost the right one here. Here we go. Okay, so we could say this means that in the spring of 2020, there were many students that could not access their classes online. Now, reasoning one is really just explaining what this quote means in regards to my supporting claim, right? Because my supporting claim is about internet and access. So this, I pointed out that in the spring of 2020, there were many students that could not access their classes online. Now, reasoning two, right, as you see here, this is where we bring it back to El Segundo. What should El Segundo do, right? So therefore, we have this is important because this proves we should or should not return to school. All right. We come back here, right? So we can say, therefore, if it is not a guarantee that students can attend online school, El Segundo High School, and I don't mind if you guys put ESHS, provide an in-person option for education. Here's my reasoning. Very simple. First one is directly kind of talking about this evidence. Second one is connecting it back to the fact that this initial claim is about whether or not El Segundo should be in school. So make sure you don't forget that, right? So we have another piece of evidence here, right? In a class Anderson taught that afternoon, one boy's video kept freezing from a slow connection. At the high point during class, I observed 20 of 24 had joined the Zoom session, which Anderson told me later is better than expected. Not all distance learning in rural areas is functioning even this smoothly, thanks to America's notoriously unequal internet access. This is a great piece of evidence, right? So again, we would be providing that reasoning to it. We don't want to repeat the same thing. So this one was about accessing it all. Maybe this one we want to talk about even if students do have internet access, the connection is not always strong enough to complete their classes and assignments. Again, I'm taking the evidence. It should be students. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Okay. Taking the evidence and making it a little bit more self-explanatory to what we are directly talking about, right? And again, we could say, not providing in-person instruction. See, because again, we want to relate it to our central claim. Not providing in-person instruction may deny SHS a proper education due to internet connectivity. Okay, here's my reasoning that would go into that body paragraph. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys a sense of kind of my thought process, or a thought process when you are creating reasoning. So between your example here and the kind of outline that the slides are giving you, hopefully you are able to kind of construct some reasoning for each piece of your evidence. Make sure also that if you haven't done so already, that your evidence is stated in the correct format, okay, like these ones do. All right, you are working on this today, you are working on this tomorrow. You have 2 full class days to be working on this second outline. Okay, ask questions if you have them. The Zoom is open from the beginning to the end. Jump on and we can talk your way through it.